Now, a lot of you guys are going to think I'm being disrespectful when I say Canelo is fighting for the money, but the truth is that everybody in the sport of boxing nowadays is fighting for money. All of the superstars, even people that aren't like the face of boxing, the cash cow of the sport like Canelo Alvarez, everybody just wants a paycheck. That's been the theme of every big card, every, Times Square event of that singular fight card. All of those fights showed that a lot of them were just there for the money. And that's what could be the difference between Canelo and Crawford. Both of them, I understand, are there to put on a show and make a lot of money to entertain the fans of the sport. But one of these fighters is going to go into the mentality of, all right, I'm getting paid and it's not the end of the world if I lose this fight. And the other is going to say, I got the money, but I want to also get this job done. And I feel like Crawford is that person that's going to say, I'm going to get the job done. And I think Canelo's shown us in more recent fights that he doesn't really have that killer in him anymore. He's not that dominant force that he once was, where he was really hunting guys down, cutting off the ring, and really trying to get guys out of there. Rolly Romero even said that Canelo's a disgrace to the sport of boxing because he comes in there and just simply wants to get a paycheck. He's obviously a draw. People watch him because the Mexicans love Canelo Alvarez, but a lot of them are also realizing that he's not that same killer that he once was. He doesn't have that mindset where he has that killer instinct and is getting guys out of there. And a lot of fighters are just trying to survive with Canelo Alvarez, and in more recent fights, they just came for a paycheck as well. They just want to last the 12 rounds, get their check, and then leave. But you got a different animal with Terence Crawford, and a lot of people are simply banking on the fact that Canelo could land a shot. And it's a big if, honestly. Like, it's not even guaranteed that Canelo is going to land that shot. The two questions in this fight are if Canelo Alvarez can land the shot and if Terence Crawford can take a shot from Canelo. Those are the two questions that I'm hearing about this fight, in general. Those are the two big questions. Can Canelo land that shot on Crawford, and can Terence Crawford take a big shot that lands clean from Canelo? Those are the two things. But another thing for me is Canelo's conditioning going to be there? Is his output, is his punch output going to be high? Is he going to be active? Is he going to be fast on his feet? Is the hand speed going to be there? Is he going to throw more combinations? And, like I said, is that killer instinct going to be there? Because it's not all about whether or not Canelo Alvarez can land that shot. How does he land the shot? He has to put himself in position with a guy that's much faster than him in terms of, foot speed and the hand speed. So you look at Terence Crawford, and everybody's saying he's going to get stopped. He's somebody that's never even lost, let alone get stopped. When was the last time we saw Canelo Alvarez really get a stoppage? You know what I'm saying? Caleb Plant? I think Terence is way better than Caleb Plant. Respect to Caleb Plant, but Bud is different. And I think we're going to see that come September. I just don't see Canelo Alvarez, just based on his last performances. I'm not saying he can't turn back the clock, but I'm going to, base my prediction off of what I've seen recently. I can't say, Canelo 10 years ago would have taken care of Crawford. Maybe he would have, but it's not Canelo from 10 years ago. We're talking about Canelo Alvarez in the current, where we're seeing him get tired. We're seeing him with low punch output. We're seeing him not get that eager to get guys out of there, to land knockout shots. Everybody's acting like Canelo Alvarez is one of those Mexican fighters like Barrera, Morales, Marquez, Chavez, where these guys went for the kill. Canelo may be the cash cow of boxing, but I have reason to believe that he just likes the money, he likes the attention, and he's a businessman. He's in that mindset where he's like, all right, I can fight anybody, whoever I want. I can fight whoever I want. And he said that multiple times. At this point, I have nothing to prove, and I've earned everything, and I've earned the right to do whatever I want in boxing. And, that Canelo thinks that he's the best of all time. Canelo thinks he's a great fighter, but it all comes down to that fight night. And I just think that we're going to be shocked by what we see from Canelo Alvarez. He's going to have to channel a killer instinct that he hasn't gotten, to show in a long time. I don't know if he's reached down into that bag as of recent. It didn't seem like it against William Scola. It didn't seem like it against Edgar Berlanga. It didn't seem like that against Munguia. Yeah, he landed some shots on these guys and dropped them, but where was that killer instinct to really get these fighters out of there? It hasn't happened. And to believe that it's going to be, the first times in a long time since, you know, Caleb Plant against Terrence Crawford is a hard thing to believe. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, but I'll catch you guys on the next one. It's been your boy Matt with Navs Boxing. Peace.